talking about how you can explain the benefits of a human-centered design project. Maybe you're just getting into applying human-centered design to your projects. Maybe you absolutely love the approach and you just want to be able to convince your stakeholders that it really can make a difference to their project. And from our experience, it 100% can. It's just about how you communicate that and convince people of its value. So I'm going to be referring to our human-centered design playbook. We have a section on benefits for my project, which takes you through the process of how you can create a script that you can use to speak to stakeholders, to your colleagues, to clients, to whoever it may be that you need to speak to about your project. So the first thing that you want to do is you want to think, okay, what's my project goal? So for example, let's say that your project goal is to enable leaders to hold performance conversations. So you need to create some sort of awareness and training piece that enables leaders to do that in an organization. So you want to think, okay, if I applied human-centered design, how would this benefit my project? So human-centered design, it's about understanding your end user. So understanding what their life is like, what their needs are, what their challenges are. And this in turn helps you create a solution that meets their needs. So for this example, you would be thinking, okay, my end user would be my leaders because they're the ones that are holding the performance conversation. And it could also be the leaders' staff. It could be people that are impacted by those performance conversations. Maybe the way that leaders are holding performance conversations for them doesn't feel right. They don't feel good and it's not done in a nice way that is effective. So you would think, okay, if I understand those end users, the leaders and their employees, how will this help this project? So some examples are, well, it would help us understand whether leaders aren't conducting performance conversations well because of, is it their motivation? Maybe they actually do have the skills, but there's just no reason why they would put the effort into doing it. Maybe they don't realize it's expected of them. Or you could discover that it's their skill set. Maybe they would like to hold them, but they don't really know how to do it. So finding that out could really change the way that you design your solution. It's either going to be a motivation piece or a skills and training type of initiative. So that can really impact it. So that's something you could put down as a benefit. Something else would be, through using human-centered design, you could discover what leaders already know about performance conversations. This can help you give them content that's actually meaningful. If you give them content of information that they already know, you're going to lose them. They're going to think, why are they giving me this? I already know this. They didn't even ask what I know already. So it can really help you give the leader information that is beyond their skill set. So it's going to teach them something new. And it could also give you an opportunity to refer to things that they already know and help them make sense. If they already know some elements from it, you can work with that and build on that to give them more information. Something else would be, what if like the staff feel that performance conversations are being held well? So where is this information coming from? If you speak to the staff, they might say, oh, we actually don't even hold performance conversations at all, so I wouldn't know if my leader's good at this. And through speaking to the staff, you can really understand what the situation is. Something else is stepping into the shoes of the leaders and thinking, how will holding performance conversations be positive for my life? So is it going to save me time? Does it mean that I don't have to do work for my employees? Does it mean I don't have to manage them as much? Because if I'm holding performance conversations that are working well, it's going to help them and enable and empower them to do their job, and I won't need to watch them as much, or they can be more autonomous in their role. So stepping into the leaders and thinking, what would be the motivation behind this, and tapping into that. Another thing for this script is thinking about, what are the consequences? So you've thought about the benefits, but what could go wrong? And if you think about it, if you create a training solution, let's say you're teaching leaders the skill set for performance conversations, but it happens to be about their motivation, what sort of money are you going to waste on creating a solution like that when it's information that the leaders already know? So money would be one thing, wasting money. Another thing would be time. The time that you spend creating a solution that you didn't really need is something else that's a consequence. So using this information, the project benefits, the consequences, you can start to draft a script around why a human-centered design project is important and why you should be using it. So that's it. If you want to know more and you want to go through the process that we take to have these conversations and write these scripts, you can find it in our human-centered design playbook, which I've linked in the description. But yeah, I hope it added value to you, and have a great day.